Do you actually want to get on the path to making your anxiety better? Now, it's easier said than done, and I can only speak from my own anxiety experience. But to give you a little bit of background, my name's Sam, and I've had anxiety for 10 plus years now. It started off with extreme health anxiety, and over time became more generalized, but with the health items still there as well. And I really think it's only other people with anxiety, obviously bar therapists, that can really understand those daily struggles, whether it's health anxiety or generalized anxiety. The effort that goes into acting natural and normal as you go about your day, whether it's school, college, university, work, it's so hard to mask the things that you're feeling and the things that feel so terrifying, but that you just crack on with your day and nobody would be any the wiser. Well, that leads me on to my first point. The best thing that I've found in that 10 years through spells of therapy and confiding in people that I know, it's telling people how you feel. Now, as an anxious person, you might worry that you're annoying those people, you're bothering them. But as long as it's a close friend, family member, or a professional like a therapist that I've mentioned, you can't go wrong. As an anxious person, you have so many thoughts and fears and feelings going through your head, but to lay them out on the table and tell someone about them, well, that in itself takes the edge off, even if that person can't help you solve the anxiety, which, let's face it, they probably can't, unless it's obviously maybe a therapist. The other thing I had to do, which I've been doing across the last 10 years, is really getting to know yourself. Often, in my experience, these anxious or obsessive thoughts come into your head just because your brain and your nervous system and you yourself don't actually understand how to deal with them, and probably because you don't actually know exactly how you're feeling. In the early days of my anxiety, and even sometimes now, I became extremely anxious out of nowhere, and I tell my mum or somebody, I have anxiety, I'm feeling extremely anxious. And she said, "Well, what are you anxious about?" And it took me such a long time to actually realize the thing that I was anxious about. It's like your subconscious mind is aware that you're anxious, but even at the forefront of your mind, your actual persona, you don't know what's wrong with you. So you really do have to think, be mindful about what you're anxious about. And if there truly is absolutely nothing upcoming or something that you're scared of, then you need to think to yourself, well, why am I anxious? There's no reason to be. And that, if ever I'm in that situation, it gives me a real boost and makes me realize, hang on, there is actually no reason to be anxious here. And to give you the most powerful thing, the most game changing thing for me, especially when it came to physical anxiety symptoms, is I think all anxious people, all of us know that you can get anxious about being anxious. If there's nothing there in the forefront of your mind, then you just end up getting anxious about being anxious. Why am I not anxious? Or I'm not anxious, this is weird, I should probably be anxious. Well, the way that you tackle those physical symptoms, or at least the way I tackled those physical symptoms, and I think I discovered this about 4 years ago, it's all the while you're trying to remove your physical symptoms, whether it's a pain in your body, brain fog, a headache, all the time you're trying to relieve them. Every time, every second that you're wishing them away, they're going to stay. And not only are they going to stay, but they're going to get all that load more stronger. So, what do you have to do? Well, it takes practice and it probably won't work the first time you try it. But if you truly want change, if you truly want your anxiety to get so much better, like has happened to me, you have to sit with those symptoms. You have to accept that they're there. Let's say you've got heart palpitations, you're scared you're going to have a heart attack or something. Firstly, have you had a heart attack from it before? No. Secondly, have you been to a doctor to actually talk to them about how you're feeling? If the answer's no, don't fear it. A doctor will give you the reassurance that you need, and they will sometimes refer you to get whatever it is that you're worried about checked. And once you get the all clear, which, let's face it, someone with health anxiety, what are the chances that you also have something horrible? You're going to be reassured. The amount of times I've been reassured by a doctor and felt like the biggest weight has been lifted off my shoulders is the best feeling in the world, and I can't recommend it enough. Don't fear the doctor. So if you've done both of those things, you have complete permission within yourself to not fear the symptoms that you're feeling. An ache in the body, something that you know is fine because you've already had it checked. And if you just sit with those symptoms instead of trying to get rid of them or be scared of them, just allow the way that you're feeling, allow it and see what happens. Honestly, as soon as I started doing this, it completely changed everything for me. If you just accept how you're feeling, if you're really dizzy, everything will be okay. And those symptoms eventually go away because you've taken the power away from them. Something that I liken it to is that episode, the Halloween episode of The Simpsons, where all of the billboards and signs and all of those things came alive and they died when people stopped giving them attention. That is exactly what this anxiety symptom type of thing is. This is exactly what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to not give them any attention and eventually they go away. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.